Welcome to our visual presentation. Today, we are diving into something that's literally moving at warp speed in the professional world, the AI legal revolution. You know, if you've ever thought the legal field was, well, kind of slow to adapt to new technology, hold on to your hats. The data we're going to look at today is absolutely going to shatter that perspective.
2%. Just 2%. According to the latest 2026 industry reports from Deloitte, that incredibly tiny number represents the fraction of legal departments that are not using AI right now. Think about that. We aren't talking about early adopters anymore. We are looking at total, undeniable market saturation. To really wrap our heads around the sheer speed of this shift, consider this. Back in 2024, a massive 76% of the industry had zero AI adoption. Fast forward literally just 2 years to 2026, and that group has shrunk to an almost non-existent 2%. So yeah, this isn't just a passing trend. This is a complete structural takeover of how legal work is processed and delivered.
Section 1. The 2026 Revolution. Explosive AI Adoption. Okay, let's dive into this and look at the verified data backing up this explosive growth, stretching from solo practitioners all the way up to global mega firms.
At the individual level, the pervasiveness is just striking. Bloomberg Law reports that a massive 83% of individual lawyers are already using large language models in their daily workflow, right? Like, these tools have rapidly moved from being some experimental tech to absolute everyday essentials. Basically, they're becoming as standard as checking your email.
And zooming out to the organizational level, we're seeing 41 to 47% of legal firms actively deploying generative AI right now. That is literally double the rate from just 1 year ago. This rapid year-over-year doubling is totally reshaping the industry baseline. If a firm isn't deploying AI at an institutional level today, mathematically, they are falling behind their competitors in a very real race for efficiency.
Section 2. The new day-to-day, automating the routine. So, what does this all mean? How do these massive statistics actually translate into a lawyer's actual daily life? You know, for the person sitting at the desk.
And this brilliantly illustrates the tangible gains when we look at specific platforms. Take tools like Westlaw AI and CoCounsel. Routine legal research is happening 62% faster. Meanwhile, platforms like Eve Legal are helping folks settle cases 60 days faster and actually hitting 30% higher settlement values. We were talking about fundamentally accelerating justice here, not to mention dramatically improving financial outcomes.
And listen, this shift goes way beyond slick industry marketing hype. This is scientifically backed by rigorous academic studies. Randomized controlled trials, published in journals like Computer Science Review, are showing massive productivity boosts, anywhere from 50% up to an incredible 130% in complex legal drafting. And the wild part? The output quality is often surpassing older traditional methods.
I love this quote. The junior associate no longer stays up until 3 a.m. reviewing contracts. Now they supervise a digital colleague who never sleeps, but sometimes invents cases. It's a funny thought, but it hits the nail on the head regarding a serious shift. Legal professionals are stepping away from purely manual drafting and into this new role of supervising agentic AI workflows. You're no longer just the drafter, you are now essentially a manager of digital intelligence.
Because routine work is happening so incredibly fast now, the traditional business model is literally fracturing. Look at this. Deloitte projects the industry's reliance on the billable hour is going to plummet from 72% all the way down to 44%. I mean, think about it. When you can analyze a massive contract in just 3 minutes, you simply cannot bill by the hour anymore. A huge pivot to fixed, value-based pricing is absolutely inevitable at this point.
Section 3. Hallucinations and ethical risks, the reality check. Now, it's definitely not all smooth sailing here. We really need to shift our focus to the very real and honestly, sometimes dangerous flaws of this technology. We absolutely have to understand what AI hallucinations mean in a legal context. This is when an LLM confidently, and I mean very confidently, generates completely false legal information. We're talking about inventing non-existent case law or totally fake citations. You have to remember, LLMs don't think like a human lawyer. They predict text probabilistically. They're essentially just guessing the next most likely word in a sequence. So sometimes they'll guess a case name that sounds incredibly authentic, but absolutely does not exist in reality.
So the crucial point is this alarming reality. Current standard legal AI tools have a hallucination rate of 17% to 34%. That means between a fifth and a third of the time, the AI might just feed you an inaccuracy. And this isn't theoretical. We've already seen high-profile real-world examples of lawyers facing severe sanctions for submitting court briefs that were just filled with fake AI-generated citations.
Beyond just those outright hallucinations, the technology has some real structural limitations. Academically speaking, AI still struggles heavily with nuanced legal reasoning, especially in those gray areas of the law where genuine human judgment is required. It frequently misinterprets the burden of proof, it totally stumbles across complex jurisdictions, and there are significant risks of inherent data bias. So yes, it is an incredibly powerful assistant, but one that absolutely requires constant human oversight.
And this exposes a massive industry vulnerability. On one hand, a huge 58% of legal professionals have a very high fear of making client-facing ethical errors because of AI. But on the other hand, a shockingly low 7% of legal teams have actually fully implemented AI governance and safety policies. So the fear is definitely there, but the institutional guardrails, they are mostly missing right now.
Section 4. The hybrid lawyer future. Augmentation, not replacement. Okay, take a breath. Despite those daunting risks, there is a really empowering resolution to all this tension. You aren't being replaced. The technology is here to augment and elevate the profession, not to destroy it. Let's move to and see how this builds a completely new working model. Essentially, we're delegating the scale, the heavy data processing, and all those tedious routine tasks to the AI. And this is a game changer because it completely frees up the human lawyer to focus on exercising genuine legal judgment, applying real empathy, crafting high-level courtroom strategy, and upholding ethical standards. The AI handles the sheer volume, completely freeing you up to do the deep, strategic thinking that actually wins cases. Which brings us to a frankly staggering industry consensus. According to Deloitte, 96% of the legal industry agrees on one absolute fact. AI literacy is the absolute key to surviving and thriving in this new landscape. It's really all about understanding how to properly prompt, how to supervise, fact-check, and creatively direct these incredibly powerful digital systems.
So, you might be wondering, how do we safely adapt to all of this? Well, here is your actionable checklist. Step 1. Use specific legal tools that utilize RAG, that's Retrieval Augmented Generation, to ground their answers in verified legal databases. Step 2. Always verify all outputs. Step 3, implement internal governance policies today. Don't wait on that. And step 4, start experimenting with AI in low-risk internal administrative tasks first, before you move on to any sensitive client-facing work.
And so it all comes down to this final provocative question. Will your experience with AI be transformative, or will it be chaotic? The technology is absolutely here, and the old way of doing things is essentially gone. It's really up to you to embrace this hybrid model and put those safety rails in place. Let us know what you think about your own readiness. Thank you so much for joining me for this visual analysis today. Keep learning, keep adapting, and I'll catch you next time.